Right, so now that Keir Starmer has pushed another 5 promises, his 5 missions that he'll no doubt break eventually because he's broken his word on everything else he's ever said he'll do, let's turn to his actions instead, because this tells us a lot more. And his latest actions, which are going criminally underreported, is that he has banned another 12 groups. And for what these groups stand for, implies Starmer does not. Why else ban them? Emails have gone out to local constituency Labour parties, or CLPs, the Labour memberships in each parliamentary seat, basically, informing them that any affiliations to these dozen groups will be unilaterally cancelled, and they are prohibited from affiliating to them going forwards. Functionally, they could face disciplinary action, or individual members attempting to bring forward a motion to affiliate to any of these groups could face disciplinary action as well. Affiliations to various groups becoming part of the Labour movement to promote their ideals has always happened. You can look on the Labour Party website to see which groups or societies are affiliated to Labour today, such as the right-wing Jewish Labour movement, but also Disability Labour or BAME Labour, Christians on the left, Chinese for Labour. They're now called East and Southeast Asians for Labour, so the site hasn't been updated for that. Slackers. The Fabian Society, and there's lots more too. So to ban any group, you are basically saying to them that you are not Labour material. Your ideals are not our ideals. So bear that all in mind as you hear which groups Starmer is excluding now. I mentioned the right-wing Jewish Labour movement already, so it shouldn't surprise anyone to discover Jewish Voice for Labour is on this list. Left-wing Jewish ideals are now no longer welcome in Labour. If you're the wrong kind of Jew, you're not welcome. Labour is now certainly, in my opinion, promoting its anti-Semitism. Let's face it, though, when the JVL are pro-Palestine, anti-apartheid Israel, and pro-boycott, divestment and sanctions, and Starmer and the JLM are not, it's a little surprise that this is a show of authoritarianism to hammer the point home, that he will not stand up for Palestinian rights, will not listen to all Jewish voices, and would rather silence those he's no interest in paying heed to. That naturally flows onto another of his 12 banned groups, the Palestine Solidarity Campaign. They exist to promote Palestinian rights, again, promote BDS, again, seek to highlight the apartheid regime that rules Israel and pushes back against too many media narratives that promote Israeli voices. Starmer is funded by pro-Israel donors. Starmer has significant pro-Israel voices in his party, not least from NEC members like Luke Akehurst, who is director of a pro-Israel promotional body, but he's far from alone. Starmer has long said he's a Zionist without qualification. He is pro-Israel regardless of what they do, no matter what, in other words, and will defend that right by silencing their critics. Imagine how much further he could go in that regard if he led the country. Moving on from Starmer's blatant anti-Semitism here, but staying with his theme of some religious voices being worth more than others, he's also now banned affiliation to Sikhs for Labour. I mean, it's a group set up for Sikh Labour members. The clue is in the name, and interestingly, I can't find another Sikh body affiliated to the Labour Party, so is Labour just fundamentally anti-Sikh now? I'm happy to be corrected, but I couldn't find one. They exist only to promote Sikh interests in the Labour Party, to encourage Sikhs to join the Labour Party, increase Sikh representation within the Labour Party, and Starmer has, it seems, completely ended that. Why? Labour has achieved the first Sikh woman and first turban-wearing Sikh male MPs in the 2017 general election under Jeremy Corbyn in Preet Kaur Gill and Tan Daisy. Why turn your back on that? On his NEC, he has a right-wing Sikh representative in Gurinder Singh Josen. His replacement for Sam Tarry, the MP he sacked from his front bench for attending a picket line and who subsequently lost his trigger process, is a guy called Jaz Athwal. He's a Sikh too. The group itself doesn't seem perturbed by this, weirdly enough, either, going by their Twitter statement anyway. Other groups are up in arms about it, but Sikhs for Labour claims never to have sought affiliation, so seemingly doesn't care, and will carry on promoting Labour values to Sikh communities. Sorry, but I just don't get this. If this isn't an insult to those same communities when other religions are welcomed as affiliates, I don't know what is. Does this not say to you that people of your religious persuasion, that their opinions are worth less? I dare say other Sikhs will make up their own mind about that. I covered this next group recently as the next one Labour were likely to prescribe, and so it seems as Stop the War Coalition has ended up on this list. Now, this isn't a full proscription, it should be said. People aren't going to face expulsion, as far as I'm aware, for belonging to any of these groups at this stage. But this is purely a matter of affiliation to the party. So sort of a halfway towards that prescription. But yeah, Stop the War Coalition, an organisation promoting ceasefires, peace talks, and who counts Jeremy Corbyn as a member, are apparently no longer welcome. Starmer, of course, has given assurances to the likes of Volodymyr Zelensky that his Labour Party, if it achieves power, will offer him the UK's ongoing support against Putin. So anyone promoting negotiation or peace settlements would appear to be most unwelcome. Not the only promoters of peace on this list, incidentally. Not the only Corbyn connection either, as Jeremy Corbyn's very own Peace and Justice project is now banned too. Corbyn, of course, remains a Labour member, albeit one that Starmer hates. Though this is petulance, surely. This became Corbyn's pet project, if you like, following his departure as Labour leader, and has been about building alliances around the world to promote economic and social justice, peace and human rights the world over. How is that not Labour values? Starmer, the human rights barrister, now against human rights, apparently? It wouldn't surprise me. He's never kept a promise since entering bloody politics, but he makes so much of his former life as a barrister. Was it just a job to him? Did he really not ever give us stuff or believe in anything that he advocated back then? Or does his ambition now drive him to just stample over anything he's ever done before? Does Mandelson have him so enthralled he'll do anything the Prince of Darkness tells him? He's no leader. It wouldn't surprise me. Staying with the anti-war theme, though, Starmer has also now banned Labour campaign for nuclear disarmament. Clue is in the name, of course, and of course this group has ties to Corbyn as well. But even under his leadership, renewal of Trident remains a commitment. It's not as if Labour are likely to ever come to a position of doing away with nuclear weapons. It's a crazy waste of money, in my opinion, on something that we dare not ever use, because the moment somebody does, we can all kiss our asses goodbye. But it's not the position of everyone, and it's not the position of the two main parties. All people, such as Labour campaign for nuclear disarmament, can do is keep having conversations regarding this, especially weighed up against all the other things such vast sums of money can be spent on. Some £130 billion in 2021 was, to quote, for Trident renewal. I dread to think what it would be now with inflation having gone where it has since. But that's money that could pay for so many other things. It's enough to end homelessness, for example, investing in the essential services that have suffered for so long under Tory rule. It just feels like such a waste. But it's a conversation Starmer no longer wants to hear and doesn't want his CLPs listening to either. An interesting entry on this list of banned groups, given Starmer's fifth mission of turning the UK into a green energy superpower, is the campaign against climate change trades union group. This is a swipe at a group of trade unions at trade councils across the country as well, some affiliated to the Labour Party, some not, who are committed to fighting climate change. Why are you banning them, Keith? Is your green energy shtick not to help combat climate change? Is that not why we're going green? Or is the reality just another opportunity to line energy company pockets, given your green GB energy plan is a big fat con that won't supply energy to us, but will sell it to the energy suppliers bleeding us dry already instead? Green energy that'll keep costing us an arm and a leg and not actually anything to do with saving the planet? What is your commitment to climate change, Keith? And how does banning a group advocating climate issues built from trade unions, as the Labour Party was itself, showing that commitment? We've seen religious groups in this list banned already, but in a sign that Labour's worldview is shrinking, nation advocacy groups are included too. Small-minded politics from a small-minded leadership. First of these is the banning of the All African Women's Group, a group representing not just African women, it should be pointed out, but women from across the world who have come here as migrants, asylum seekers and refugees, and is functionally a self-help group of some 60 women who meet every fortnight in London. What possible problem could Starmer have with 60 women supporting each other? Well, they've been outspoken on issues of police brutality, illegality and racism for quite some time. They've been around for 20 years now, and of particular focus has been the detention centre at Yarl's Wood, something Starmer himself focused on in one of those infamous 10 election pledges of his that he broke. Pledge 6 on defending migrants' rights stated that if he were elected Labour leader, he would campaign for full voting rights for EU nationals, defend free movement as we leave the EU, an immigration system based on compassion and dignity, and an end to indefinite detention, including the closure of centres such as Yarl's Wood. He's now banned a small group of immigrant women who have been calling for the same thing. I trust they'll keep campaigning for such things. I do not trust Keir Starmer to look twice at this issue ever again. He's got what he wanted out of it, and that's that, it seems. Staying with the African theme, however, is the banning of Somalis for Labour. Just as with Sikhs for Labour, this is an advocacy group for Somali party members and Somali councillors, of which Labour has many, and having a look at their social media feed on Twitter is very interesting, because despite having seen an email confirming everything that I'm saying in this video, I've not published it because I don't think it's been made public, but this group have had no contact from the Labour Party informing them of this decision. And they are of the opinion it's actually mischief-making. It wouldn't be the first time Labour has treated somebody or a group of people with such contempt as to not inform them of a decision affecting them like this. They'll be in for a shock when it becomes clear, no doubt. Perhaps in the meantime, they could check out that statement Seats for Labour have put out, or better still, the one from Jewish Voice for Labour. That'll clue them in. Now, has anyone ever seen that bit of footage where Keir Starmer talks of getting a knighthood after having previously called for the abolition of the monarchy? Well, if there were any doubts, he's now joined the royalist ranks of cat doffers. He's now banned the abolitionist group Republic too. They are exactly what it says on the tin. They oppose the inherent anti-democratic institution that is the monarchy. They campaign to rid us of the royals and advocate an elected head of state instead. Now, whether you agree or disagree with that, is it right that a party or potential government should seek to silence such views within its ranks? Are Labour members now required to bow and curtsy upon pain of suspension? Is that the direction we're going in? These are valid questions to ask when the party is taking such an action, surely. Another group representing another worrying trend of silencing viewpoints within the Labour Party that is being banned, though, is the London Irish Abortion Rights Campaign. Campaigners for the rights of abortion in Ireland, they notably took the UK government to court a few years back over the issue of abortion in Northern Ireland, where abortions were still illegal in almost all circumstances. It's been decriminalised since, so some progress has been made, but Starmer apparently doesn't agree with this. Why? It's odd. Abortion isn't a criminal issue anywhere in the UK now, nor should it be. It's a matter of choice, after all. But Starmer has banned them. Are anti-abortion laws coming under a Starmer-led government, in which case? The final banning on the list is that of the Health Campaigns Together group, a coalition of various groups, and again, trade unions fighting to keep our NHS public and reverse the privatisation already happening and has happened over the last several decades. An absolute no-brainer, you would think, for Labour, but Starmer has taken private health donations, of course, and advocates using the private sector within the NHS still, when he once stood to reverse all of that. His word means little, his actions mean more. The NHS has never been safe in Tory hands, and Starmer is a red Tory, right down to barring his CLP supporting the thought of full renationalisation of our NHS, it would seem. People need to basically ignore anything Keir Starmer ever says and look at what he does to get an honest impression of the man and what he would do in power, because his word is worthless. There's 11 relaunches to prove that now, but there's no doubting his actions because once done, they're on record, so often exposing the hypocrisy and dishonesty of the man. When he has basically exposed himself to be against what all these groups are for, why on earth would you still vote for such a wretched man? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do hit like and subscribe, leave a comment and hit the notification bell too so you don't miss the next one. Also look out for me on social media and other interesting stuff by clicking the Linktree link in the comments below. And I'll see you next time. Cheers, folks.